And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to the 2011 USCSA National Championships as we broadcast to you live from beautiful Sun Valley, Idaho. Hi, everybody. Boss Hogg alongside Chris Aliano here in the USCSA Radio Network broadcast booth at the base of the Greyhawk Run here at Warm Springs in beautiful Sun Valley. We are getting ready for the second run of the Women's GS National Championship. Our first run in the books, 111 competitors, certainly by far the largest field ever amassed in ladies alpine racing here at the USCSA National Championships. Chris Aliano, we had an incredible performance by these ladies on probably what had to have been one of the most difficult GS courses these girls have had to tackle during the entire ski season. As a skier yourself, talk about what we're looking at as we look up at 1,300 vertical feet and 40 gates of giant slalom action for the ladies as they have now reset the course. We'll be looking at it a little bit differently, but this is certainly a hard run for these girls, isn't it?
It really is. A number of factors going into this one, Boss. At the top, you're going to get jettisoned out again. I don't think as turny as the first run, but again, the middle section of this course is just so tactical, even more tactical than the first run, in my opinion. And then you get to the bottom, and you just get shot all over the place. Some really wide turns as you really both try to maintain the speed from that middle section and try and navigate it successfully. We saw about a handful of girls, at least a dozen, blow out with about 7 gates to go. Ruts developing at the end of the first run. And boy, it's going to be interesting. And of course, right before we went on the air, we mentioned the flat light that's sure to be affecting these skiers. Of course, a light snow that started to fall at the end of the first run. It's continuing to fall now. It's probably a little colder, a little windier, and a little less visibility up at the top. And you just see all of the dye all along the course. They had to dye the entire finish corral, hopefully so that the skiers can see where they're going. And that certainly has to be a factor going into this second run.
Warm temperatures here in Sun Valley, Idaho, make racing a little different. Well, they're used to being on the icy surface. Certainly the East Coast skiers, very accustomed to cold temperatures, but about 30 degrees here in Sun Valley today. Of course, partly cloudy skies have now become mostly cloudy to fully cloudy skies, snowing on and off, and has been for about the last hour. In fact, the light, as you said, Chris, very flat here, which will make it awfully difficult to navigate this incredible set. You can see that the top section of this 1,300 vertical foot Greyhawk Run is extremely steep. The first 7 or 8 gates, as you get shot out of the start shack, are extremely steep. Speed certainly not a problem coming out of the start shack. Then it transitions to the skier's left side of the run, then makes its way slowly through the central part of this run, the very technical part of this run, back to the right side. And then at the end, it is an insane set. As you can see, the last 15 gates of this course really all over the mountain, including 5 gates from the end, an incredible right sweeping turn for these skiers, and they're really going to have to compress. Talk about what it means to ski so technically at the end of a run when your legs are completely nuclear as a result of coming down something this steep and this difficult for these ladies.
Only the best can do it. It's a culmination of a full season's workload. Of course, the conditioning both before and during the season, and boy, at this point in the year, your legs are already so tired, and well, the average racer, they'll probably give out, and you'd see a lot of crashes and a lot of scrubbing of speed to make up for this extra technical portion at the bottom, this extra turny, extra physically demanding portion at the bottom. But these are the best of the best, headlined after that first run by Martina Ryberg, and she was in first place after the first run. I'm sure she will be going 30th, and taking an eye at seeing how other skiers look and seeing the approach they take as they go down. It's going to be certainly interesting to see how those top 3, top 5, top 10 racers hold their results, and just how aggressive the top 15 or top 20 girls trying to move into that upper echelon, how aggressive they'll be going, and well, just how their legs fare at the end of this course. It's as physically demanding, if not more so, than that first run we saw.
87 competitors make it through the first round, although we started with almost 110. Very difficult skiing, caused a lot of DNFs in the first run. They don't get an opportunity to make the second run. So our field of 87 will begin just about 10 minutes from now as the last course workers are making the final adjustments here on this incredibly difficult Greyhawk run here in Sun Valley, Idaho. Looks like we've got our first forerunner on the course now, which means we're just about 5 minutes away from starting this second round. Remember, in ladies alpine giant slalom, the top 30 times from the first run, they'll start off as the first 30 slots here for the second run. But, of course, they'll be in reverse order. So our first skier down will be Tori Anderson from Whitman College, and she qualified 30th after the first run. And then we'll move backwards all the way to our number one qualifier from Plymouth State University, Martina Ryberg. Let's go over the order from the first run. And first it was Martina Ryberg. Tessa Herman from Sierra Nevada College was in second. Danielle Shannon in the third spot from Colby Sawyer. Shannon Bloom from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst in fourth. And Amy Harris from the University of Nevada in fifth. In sixth position, Alexandra Guras from Rocky Mountain College, followed by Krista Consiglio from Brown. Sierra Nevada's Matea Firk. Then Marley Pollock from Plymouth State, rounding out by Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf. So again, the top racers, they will go in the 20th to 30th position. And anything can happen on a day like today when conditions are definitely variable. The course is now very, very different from the first run. It has literally moved across the entire face of the run to the opposite side. And these ladies will certainly be in for a challenge as we get ready to go. Our second forerunner now on course, and should be an exciting women's GS final here, all part of our live coverage of the 2011 USCSA National Championships. Let's take a quick second to thank our sponsors. Of course, today's broadcast brought to you by Patagonia. Their mission, build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, and use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. Check them out at www.patagonia.com. Today's coverage also brought to you by Reliable Racing. Whether it's winter sports, hill and event supply, sports timing, golf course supplies, or field and recreation, Reliable Racing is your one-stop solution. Reliable Racing, proud supporter of the USCSA. And by Hurricane Racing, the official uniform supplier of the USCSA and your number one source for custom team ski wear. Visit them today at www.hurricaneracing.com. USCSA is also sponsored by Twitchell Sportswear. Whether it's T-shirts for the family reunion, merchandise for a major event, or polos for a corporate gathering, Twitchell Sportswear has you covered from design to delivery. Since 1992, it's Twitchell Sportswear, the leader in custom embroidery, screen printing, and graphic design. Just moments away here from the second run of the 2011 Women's Giant Slalom. Our third forerunner now on course. Coming out of the gate first in the first slot, wearing bib number 8, will be Tori Anderson. She completed her first run in a time of 1:18.27. She'll be followed by the University of Minnesota in Duluth, Amanda Peterson. Alexandra Boyd from Boston College will be in the third slot. Brittany Barber from Northern Michigan University in the fourth position. And Kia Mosenthal from Brown will run fifth. Again, reverse order for the top 30 from the first run, and we will soon know who will be the 2011 Women's Giant Slalom National Championship. Great competition all week long as we'll be bringing you all of the alpine events here from the Greyhawk Run and the beautiful Warm Springs base area here in Sun Valley, Idaho. Tomorrow morning we'll fire up at 9:15 a.m. local time. That's 11:15 Eastern time for the men's giant slalom first run. And then right at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon, we'll be back with live coverage of the second run of the men's GS. Then on Friday, it is slalom action as the ladies return here to the Warm Springs base area. 9:15 start time on Friday morning for the women's slalom. And then back again at 12:30 on Friday afternoon, local time, for the second run of the women's slalom. Then back on Saturday, we'll do it all again for the men's. And some bonus coverage on Saturday as we'll bring you live coverage of the snowboard slalom, both runs of the men's and women's snowboard slalom. So a full jam-packed day of broadcasting here from the National Championships in Sun Valley. I'd like to welcome all of our new listeners on the World Wide Web, joining us at www.uscsa.com. We're glad you're with us, and of course it is great to have all of the friends and family that could not make it out here to Sun Valley join us wherever they may be across this great world. I'd like to thank the USCSA radio broadcast team for all of their hard work in setting it up for us today, as we have a beautiful vantage point here right at the finish line of this Greyhawk Trail. Looks like our final forerunner has now passed the finish stripe, so we should be getting underway momentarily as the course workers take their position, both left and right side, of this 1,300 vertical foot drop. And certainly one of the most challenging race courses we have seen in all of the USCSA competition this year. You know, Chris, it's a true honor to be here at the USCSA Nationals. These ladies have worked awfully hard going through their ski racing season, culminating with their regional competition and then qualifying for the Nationals. But for certainly the juniors and the seniors in this sport, some of which may be participating in their last collegiate competitive giant slalom race, this is a big day, isn't it?
Really is, boss. You never want to take it for granted, especially if you're a junior. Who knows what could happen the next year? You could get hurt. Something may happen in qualifying in the regular season or at regionals. So if you're here, enjoy every second of it. This is truly a special venue. Never has this hill been raced upon before, and well, it's going to be a great day and a great afternoon, and we will see our giant slalom women's national champion.
And now action underway as Tori Anderson on course from Whitman College. She qualified 30th, and now she makes her way through the halfway mark on this course into the bottom third, and she is skiing well. Tremendous performance by Tori Anderson as Tori crosses the finish line with a time of 1:18.27. Also on course from the University of Minnesota Duluth, it's Amanda Peterson. Great thing about being the first skier in the second heat, you're in first place when you cross the stripe. Tori Anderson currently leading from Whitman College, but now Amanda Peterson. And Amanda Peterson has some trouble during the technical part in the mid part of this Greyhawk run, and it does not appear that Amanda Peterson is going to make it across the stripe, although we're checking that just to make sure. Nope. Amanda Peterson is still up and going. It looked like a course worker had skied across, and we wondered if that might have been Amanda. A little snow at the top of this run, so our visibility is limited as we can see just about the last 20 gates here, but the top 20 are a little more difficult for us to dial into. So Amanda Peterson is not down. She is still up on the course, and it doesn't look like she has had a fall as she skis through the center section into the bottom third. Here comes Amanda Peterson from the University of Minnesota Duluth. Qualified 29th after the first run. And Amanda Peterson, 3 gates from the bottom. Here she goes in her final tuck, and across the stripe comes Amanda Peterson. And Amanda Peterson, not good enough for first. A 1:18.05 in the first run, a 1:48.91. So it appears that we were correct. She did have some difficulty up at the top. She's in second place. Tori Anderson still leading this from Whitman College. Coming up next from Boston College, bib number 82. That's Alexandra Boyd. She is in the start shack. She's waiting to drop in for her second run. Tori Anderson already across the stripe along with Amanda Peterson. Alexandra Boyd now from Boston College. Chris, how intimidating it is when you sit up in that start shack and look over that lip. It's got to be a 50-degree drop into the first gate. I mean, you were up to full speed in the first 2 seconds of this race.
No room for error right at the beginning, boss. I mean, as soon as you cross that start wand, you're all of a sudden just hurtling down at least 50, perhaps more degrees of a downhill gradient. And boy, only the most adroit of skiers can master not only that first part, but then to compress that speed and to be able to handle it during that technical portion of the course. This is, well, to me it's a nightmare, but to these girls it's certainly something they've been looking forward to and they've been training for all season long. It looks like Alexandra Boyd is on course and we are underway.
Coming through the center part of this Greyhawk Trail, it's Alexandra Boyd from Boston College. Boyd qualifying third. Check that, 27th in the first run. She starts third here for the second run. She's past the halfway mark. And now dropping out of the start shack from Northern Michigan University, bib number 18, Brittany Barber. Brittany Barber now on course as Alexandra Boyd from Boston College makes her way into the bottom section. 5 gates to go for Boyd. Boyd skiing well, very smooth. Seems like her strength is good. She makes her tuck into the final gate, and across the stripe comes Alexandra Boyd, and it's good enough for first place. Alexandra Boyd from Boston College now in the lead. A combined time of 2:31.18, so it's Boyd from Boston College, followed by Tori Anderson from Whitman and Amanda Peterson from the University of Minnesota Duluth. Brittany Barber from Northern Michigan University. Second place after the first split. Second place after the second split. She'll need to make up some time to take over the lead. Here comes Brittany Barber. And Kia Mosenthal from Brown University now on course out of the start shack. Into the bottom third of the course comes Brittany Barber. Here's Barber skiing well. Barber trying to tuck it and gain more speed in the bottom 5 gates. Brittany Barber from Northern Michigan University. Will she be able to overtake Alexandra Boyd? Yes, she does. Brittany Barber moving into the lead. Nope, check that. Brittany Barber was second place. She is not in the lead. She is in second place. Alexandra Boyd from Boston College still in the lead. Kia Mosenthal now from Brown University. She's on course through the center section as Stein Lund from Sierra Nevada College drops in from the start shack. Alexandra Boyd still leading. Brittany Barber in second. Tori Anderson in third. But here comes Kia Mosenthal. Mosenthal first after the second intermediate split. Can she keep the speed? Here comes Mosenthal. She's skiing well. Mosenthal into the tuck, the last 3 gates. Second, first, now the stripe. Here is Kia Mosenthal, and she moves into the lead. Kia Mosenthal from Brown University now in first place with a combined time of 2:28.98. So it's Mosenthal, Boyd, and Barber in your top 3 slots. But Stein Lund from Sierra Nevada College, she wants to change it all. Here she comes through the center section. Stein Lund. Now Emma Beatty from the University of British Columbia, now on course, dropping in from the top. Stein Lund into the bottom third. Mosenthal still in the lead from Brown. Lund third after the second intermediate split. She'll have to make up time here in the bottom section of this course. Emma Beatty on track, UBC, the University of British Columbia. She comes into the center technical section. Meanwhile, across the stripe comes Stein Lund, and Lund good enough for second place for Stein Lund from Sierra Nevada College. So it's still Kia Mosenthal from Brown, Stein Lund in second, and Alexandra Boyd from Boston College in third. Emma Beatty from the University of British Columbia now on course. Next up, Erica Horst from the University of Nevada wearing bib 37. She awaits her second run from the top of this Greyhawk Trail in Sun Valley, Idaho. Emma Beatty now through the middle section, coming down into the lower third. Emma Beatty, fourth after the second intermediate split. She'll have to make up time to take over Kia Mosenthal, who leads this second round and the 2011 Women's GS USCSA National Championship. Tucking and across the stripe comes Emma Beatty from the University of British Columbia. That'll put her into fourth place. Erica Horst now on course from the University of Nevada. We'll see from the College of Idaho, Nina Herner. She's up in the start shack and now just drops in. She's on course. So now Erica Horst through the center section into the bottom third. Seventh after the second intermediate split. So she had a tough time at the top of this run. She'll need to make up a lot of time at the bottom. Kia Mosenthal from Brown still on top. Stein Lund in the second spot from Sierra Nevada and Boston College's Alexandria Bolt in third. Erica Horst now into the final 4 gates for Horst from the University of Nevada. She tucks and comes across the stripe. Here's Erica Horst. And Horst is in 5th position now. Still Kia Mosenthal, the one to beat. Nina Herner from the College of Idaho wearing bib number 60. Coming out of the top section into the middle part of the course. Next up, Amanda Driver from the University of British Columbia. Qualified 21st after the first run. Kia Mosenthal, Stein Lund, and Alexandria Boyd. There's your podium so far, but the fastest racers still to come here in the second run of the Women's GS. Nina Herner now from the College of Idaho into the final 4 gates. Here comes Herner. Herner into the second gate, the last gate, and across the stripe comes Nina Herner. Nina Herner. Combined time of 2:32.18. That's good enough for 4th place for Nina Herner. Now Amanda Driver from the University of British Columbia. Qualified 21st. She's 7th after the first intermediate split. She'll need to make up time. Chris, it looks like that the top of this course is becoming more and more difficult as these skiers start to run up the first 10 gates.
Opposite of the first run, where the bottom of the course seemed to give skiers the most trouble. And, well, I guess you could contribute that to, more speed being developed there through the top. I think there's a fewer amount of gates. I'm not sure from down here. I didn't get the exact gate number, but I think that's the case. Fewer gates at the top, a lot more space to build up more speed, and I think that's where skiers are having the most trouble and why they're having most trouble up there.
Amanda Driver now into the final 10 gates in the bottom part of the course. Amanda Driver moved up to 4th place after the second intermediate split. She had a good center part of this run. Now she's into the final 2 gates. Here comes Amanda Driver from the University of British Columbia, and Driver crosses the finish line in 4th place. Tied for 4th place with Nina Herner, a combined time of 2:32.18. Jeanette Seski now from St. Olaf College in Minnesota. She qualified 20th. She is on course into the center part of the Greyhawk Trail. Now Hillary Bronson from Colby Sawyer College. She is on course, just dropping in from the top. Hillary Bronson also skied out of Carabasset Valley, Maine, and CVA, Carabasset Valley Academy. But it's Jeanette Seski now from St. Olaf into the final 5 gates. Kia Mosenthal still leading this competition. And here across the stripe comes Jeanette Seski. And Jeanette Seski, that'll be good enough for 7th place for Seski. So Kia Mosenthal, Stein Lund, and Alexandria Boyd, they are your podium so far, but the fastest racers still to come. Hillary Bronson now through the center section into the lower third. A brutally difficult course here on the Greyhawk Trail in Sun Valley, Idaho. It's everything these championship ladies can handle. Truly a world-class venue here at Sun Valley, and they have made it fantastic here for this Women's Giant Slalom National Championship. And here comes Hillary Bronson from Colby Sawyer College. Into the final 4 gates comes Bronson. Bronson skiing hard. She tucks, and across the stripe comes Hillary Bronson. And Bronson good enough for 7th place with a combined time of 2:32.91. Now on course from Sierra Nevada College, it's Hedwig Spangs. Hedwig Spangs qualifying 18th after the first run. Hedwig Spangs now into the center part of the course. We're waiting for Amy Gifford from UMass Amherst, wearing bib 29, qualified 17th. She's currently in the start shack. Now Hedwig Spangs making her way through the center part, very technical here in the middle section of this Greyhouse run. Hedwig Spangs from Sierra Nevada College. Into the final 8 gates comes Spangs. Spangs now, and Spangs had a tough time on the 7th gate from the end. She slid out, her skis went right out from under her. They hit into the panel. She made the gate. She's right next to the next blue gate. She'll need to hike and make that gate so she can finish, and it appears that Hedwig Spangs is going to do exactly that. She's making her way around that. Course workers coming to make sure that she can get out of the way. But it appears there is a course hold from the top. Now they are letting Amy Gifford go out of the start shack. But Hedwig Spangs is going to finish the race after hiking to make the gate she missed. So congratulations to Spangs for a great effort. That'll put her into 12th place. Hedwig Spangs from Sierra Nevada College now down, but across the finish line. Amy Gifford from UMass Amherst now on course, wearing bib 29. She qualified 17th. She's 3rd after the first intermediate split. Can she make up more time? Kia Mosenthal atop the leaderboard right now. It has been for some time, but how long can it last? Amy Gifford from UMass Amherst wants to change it. She makes her way into the center section, and she is skiing well. Here comes Amy Gifford from UMass Amherst. And now Meredith Pike from the University of Rochester on course. Meredith Pike from the top. Into the first 3 gates, she's skiing well. Meanwhile, coming into the lower third, it's Amy Gifford from UMass Amherst. Kia Mosenthal from Brown still on top. Stein Lund in the 2nd spot from Sierra Nevada. And Boston College's Alexandra Boyd in 3rd. But here comes Amy Gifford. Into the last gate and across the stripe, it's Amy Gifford. Amy Gifford, good enough for fourth place with a combined time of 2:31.58. So Kia Mosenthal still remains atop the leaderboard here. As we're just about halfway through the flip, the fastest skier still to come. It's Kia Mosenthal, Stein Lund, and Alexandra Boyd. Meredith Pike now from Rochester on course. Pike past the halfway mark into the lower third. And now Allison Howe from the University of Washington. She's dropped in from the start shack, so she is on course. Howe qualified 15th after the first run. Meredith Pike now into the last four gates here of this national championship. From Rochester, here's Meredith Pike across the stripe. And Meredith Pike and it doesn't appear that we have a final time for Meredith Pike. So either a timing issue or she didn't cross the stripe in the right place. I can't imagine that, Chris Aliano. Let's see what the judges are going to say here. We're going to have to give you some information on Meredith Pike. There we go. Meredith Pike's time now official, 13th place combined to 2:44.82. Now from the University of Washington, it is Allison Howe. She's on course, qualified 15th. She was 10th at the second intermediate split. Can she make up time here in the lower part? 9 gates to go for Allison Howe from the University of Washington. Here comes Allison Howe. 4 gates to go. Trying to keep it in the tuck. The legs are nuclear at this point as Allison Howe makes her way across the stripe. Here is Allison Howe, good enough for third place with a combined time of 2:30.99. Allison Howe gets on the podium so far, but still the fastest racers to come. It's Kia Mosenthal, Stein Lund, Allison Howe, Alexandra Boyd, and Amy Gifford in your top 5. Mimi Palavara from Rocky Mountain College, wearing bib 50, qualified 14th after the first run. She's in the start shack, ready to drop in. And no one on course right now, Chris Aliano. Looks like the course workers trying to get out some of the ruts and the grooves. The snow subsiding. We have a better view to the top of this run. So ever-changing conditions here at the Warm Springs base area in Sun Valley, Idaho.
That is true, boss. As we wait for our top 14 women from this morning to head down the course, why don't we take a quick look at the top 10 team scores. 10th place, College of Idaho. 9th place, Whitman College. 8th place, University of British Columbia. 7th, Nevada. And 6th place was St. Olaf's. 5th place, UMass. 4th place, Colby Sawyer. Your podium as of now, Rocky Mountain College. 2nd place, Plymouth. And in first, Sierra Nevada. There's your top 10 teams right now. So remember, anything could happen from these next competitors to make it down the hill. Of course, even after the top 30, it's the top 3 finishers for each team that affect your team score. They take those combined times and then they add those times up, and that's your combined time, and you square them off against other teams' combined times to finish out your team standings. And of course, depending on how you finish today, you take these place points and add them where you finish during the day of the slalom event, and of course the smallest number wins. So if you finish first today and first on the slalom day, you have 2 total place points, and the lowest number wins again. So again, Sierra Nevada in first, Plymouth in second right now, and third, Rocky Mountain College. There's your team podium right now with the top 14 females still to come from this morning.
Not only are they competing for individual national titles here in Sun Valley, Idaho, but also the team competition. And you know, Chris, it seems like the team competition is every bit as important to these athletes as the individual competition, which is very different than the USSA racing, where it is pretty much an individual sport. Here in the USCSA, by adding the top 3 times together and creating a point system, they fight just as hard for the team championships as they do for the individual championships.
You're absolutely right, boss, and I think that's where sometimes ski racing may get a bad rap, and that it could be focused too much on an individual sport. But here in the USCSA, it's all about your team getting both to regionals and then to nationals. You know, it's okay to qualify as an individual, but how much more fun is it to bring your entire team out here for this week of tremendous events? And again, once you get here, it's all about trying to get onto that podium to really exemplify the hard work that not only you, but your entire team has gone through and put yourself through during the course of this season.
Still have a full course hold here. We're not sure exactly what's going on, but we know that no skiers currently on the course. Mimi Palavara from Rocky Mountain College scheduled to come down next. She qualified 14th in the first run, wearing bib number 50. Let's go over your top 10 as they sit right now in 10th place. From St. Olaf College, it's Jeanette Seski. Hillary Bronson from Colby Sawyer in the 9th spot. Emma Beatty from the University of British Columbia in 8th. Her teammate from UBC, Amanda Driver, tied for 6th place with the College of Idaho's Nina Herner. In 5th spot, Amy Gifford from UMass Amherst. Alexandra Boyd down to 4th. From Boston College, University of Washington's Allison Howe in the 3rd position. Stein Lund from Sierra Nevada College in 2nd. And currently atop the leaderboard with 14 racers to go from the flip from Brown University, it's Kia Mosenthal. Great action coming up as we'll see the fastest 14 from the first run coming up next. Soon we will know who the ladies' national GS champion is. Kia Mosenthal was 21st after the first run, but she sits atop the leaderboard right now. That's some serious movement, but in fairness, Kia Mosenthal has survived 10 racers that were faster than her after the first run, so she had one heck of a second run here.
And figure, boss, if 14 more females still to come, she'll finish, even if all of these racers finish better than her, combined-wise, she'll finish 15th, which is a 10-spot improvement from her 25th place spot after the first run, so a tremendous second run by Kia Mosenthal.
Well, let's talk about the time as well. Mosenthal with a 1:11.14 in the second run. The next fastest was Stein Lund, 2 seconds slower at 1:13.06. So she did tear up this second run here on the Greyhawk Trail. We'll see if it's good enough to hold on to a podium slot for Kia Mosenthal. Mimi Palavara from Rocky Mountain College. She sits atop this 1,300 vertical foot hill, waiting to drop in, and now it looks like Mimi Palavara is on course. Although we don't have verification on the timing system, Palavara looks like she's skiing down through the top third of this course into the technical middle part. But we don't see her on the timing system. We'll have to find out if that is a miss, or we'll check out Mimi Palavara. We'll also see Isa Floden from Rocky Mountain College, Kirsten Evers from NC State, Emma Peck-Coffin from Smith College, Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf, Marley Pollock from Plymouth State, Matea Firk from Sierra Nevada College, Krista Consiglio from Brown University, Alexandra Guris from Rocky Mountain College, Amy Harris from the University of Nevada, Shannon Bloom from UMass Amherst, Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer, Tessa Herman from Sierra Nevada, and after the first round in first place, it's Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State. They're all left to come down. Now that's bib number 50 that's just made it down. That is Mimi Palavara's bib number. We do not have timing information for her yet. We'll get that as soon as it becomes available to us. So Mimi Palavara from Rocky Mountain College now across the stripe. We'll have to update her time. And now on course, we have another skier. Still no timing here in the broadcast center. We're going to have to check and make sure we've got our timing connection. We'll need to have that. And now coming down the course, we're going to go off paper. We don't have timing systems here. It's Isa Floden from Rocky Mountain College. Isa Floden now on course. Going to go to the backup timing system here. And Mimi Palavara comes across the stripe in 2:28.49. That's going to put her in first place. Now Isa Floden from Rocky Mountain College. Isa Floden across the stripe. And Isa Floden, that's good enough for third place for Isa Floden. So we're back up here now. Isa Floden in third, Kia Mosenthal in second, and Mimi Palavara in first place atop the leaderboard. Still the fastest skiers to come, as Kirsten Evers from NC State. She is on course, moving into the middle section here. Kirsten Evers from NC State now. She qualified 12th after the first run. She's in third place after the second intermediate split. Here comes Kirsten Evers from NC State. Kirsten Evers. Now into the final 10 gates comes Evers. It's Palavara, Mosenthal, and Isa Floden in first, second, and third. Kirsten Evers from NC State. She tucks across the last gate and across the stripe. Comes Kirsten Evers, and Evers moves into the lead with a combined time of 2:27.45. NC State's Kirsten Evers now atop the podium. Mimi Palavara in second. Brown University's Kia Mosenthal in third. Now on course from Smith College, it's Emma Peck-Coffin. She qualified 11th after the first run. She's in 10th place after the first intermediate split. She'll have to make up time in the center part of the course. Evers, Palavara, Mosenthal, your top three. Here comes Emma Peck-Coffin from Smith College. Coffin now into the bottom third of the course. Coming up next will be Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf. Meanwhile, Emma Peck-Coffin into the last 8 gates. She's letting it all go. Here comes Emma Peck-Coffin. 4 gates to go for Coffin. She gets into the tuck, and across the stripe comes Emma Peck-Coffin. And Coffin crosses the line in second place. 2:27.60. Smith College's Emma Peck-Coffin on the podium. But can it last? As Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf now on course. Emma Peck-Coffin in second. Kirsten Evers still leading this thing from NC State. Now moving into the center section, it's Katie Olvstead. Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf. Your top 5 is Isa Floden from Rocky Mountain College. Brown University's Kia Mosenthal. Rocky Mountain's Mimi Palavara in third. Smith College's Emma Peck-Coffin in second. And atop the podium, NC State's Kirsten Evers. But Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf College making her way now into the lower third of the course. Will she have enough to take over the lead or make a podium? Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf. Into the final 5 gates comes Katie Olvstead. Now dropping in from the top, it's Marley Pollock from Plymouth State, and across the stripe comes Olvstead. Olvstead, that'll move her to 4th place with a combined time of 2:28.62. So it's Evers, Coffin, and Palavara still in your top 3 slots. Meanwhile, Marley Pollock from Plymouth State University. She's on course. Coming into the center section, very technical, very steep in the center. Here comes Marley Pollock. Will she be able to overtake Kirsten Evers from NC State? Marley Pollock from Plymouth. Now into the lower third. Here comes Pollock. Matea Ferk from Sierra Nevada College waiting to come. So is Krista Consiglio from Brown. Rocky Mountain College's Alexandra Gurris all in the start shack waiting for their second run. Meanwhile, Marley Pollock from Plymouth State University into the final 7 gates. Here comes Pollock. Marley Pollock now with 2 gates to go, and across the stripe comes Pollock. Marley Pollock, 9th after the first run. Where will it put her? In first place, Marley Pollock from Plymouth State takes the lead with a combined score of 2:25.17. Your new leader, Marley Pollock from Plymouth State. So it's Pollock, Evers, and Coffin. But now Matea Ferk from Sierra Nevada College on course. She was 8th after the first run, but 3rd after her first intermediate split as she makes her way into the center part of this course. Here comes Matea Ferk from Sierra Nevada College. Plymouth State University's Marley Pollock leads. Kirsten Evers from NC State in second, and Smith College's Emma Peck-Coffin in third. Now Matea Ferk, she's moved into second place after the second split. Matea Ferk, she is skiing well. Here she comes into the final 8 gates. Maddie Ferk from Sierra Nevada College into the last 3. Will it be enough for the lead? Here comes Ferk. Ferk tucks. Across the finish line comes Maddie Ferk. Maddie Ferk now across the line. We're waiting on a time. And Maddie Ferk, it's good enough for first place from Sierra Nevada College. A combined time of 2:24.87. A great run from Maddie Ferk from Sierra Nevada. So your podium now, Maddie Ferk atop and in the lead. Marley Pollock in second. Kirsten Evers in third. But now Krista Consiglio from Brown University, qualified 7th after the first run. She's on course and currently leads after the first intermediate split. Here comes Krista Consiglio from Brown. Oh, but she had a tough time in the second part. In that second half of the top section, she went from first after the first intermediate split to 12th. She'll have to really ski hard at the bottom of this course. Here comes Krista Consiglio from Brown. Now Consiglio into the final two gates. And across the stripe comes Krista Consiglio. We'll have to see Consiglio. Good enough for third place now. Consiglio with a combined time of 2:26.98. Now on course from Rocky Mountain College. Qualified 6th, Alexandra Gurris. Here comes Gurris onto the course. Still Maddie Ferk in first. From Sierra Nevada, Plymouth State's Marley Pollock in second. And Brown's Krista Consiglio now in third spot. 6 of the fastest racers still to come, including Alexandra Gurris from Rocky Mountain College. 5th after the first split, 3rd after the second split. She makes her way into the bottom third of the course. She'll have to pick up time. Here comes Alexandra Gurris from Rocky Mountain College. Gurris letting it all hang out. Here she comes. 4 gates to go for Gurris. Gurris now in her tuck. And she makes her way across the stripe into the finish corral. And it's good enough for the lead. Alexandra Gurris from Rocky Mountain College, now leading this 2011 Women's GS. So it's Gurris, Ferk, and Pollock on the podium. But can it last as Amy Harris from the University of Nevada? She is on course, qualified 5th after the first run. Here comes Amy Harris from the University of Nevada. 6th at the intermediate split, the first one. That's out of the gate split. Let's see how she does on the second split. Can she make up time? Amy Harris from Nevada on course. Alexandra Gurris from Rocky Mountain currently in the lead. In second, Sierra Nevada's Maddie Ferk and Marley Pollock from Plymouth State in third. But here comes Amy Harris. Harris had a slow middle section. She'll have to make it up here in the bottom 5 gates. She is skiing hard too. Here comes Amy Harris from the University of Nevada. Amy Harris across the stripe. And it's good enough for second place. It'll push Maddie Ferk to the third slot. Marley Pollock off the podium now. Alexandra Gurris still in the lead from Rocky Mountain College. Amy Harris from the University of Nevada in second. And Sierra Nevada's Maddie Ferk in third. But Shannon Bloom now on course from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. She qualified 4th after the first run. The 4 fastest skiers still to come. Can Gurris hold on to a spot on the podium? Shannon Bloom now from UMass Amherst. The timing system is saying that Shannon Bloom is on course, but we don't see her on course. We're looking up there. Now dropping in Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer College. She qualified 3rd. We'll have to see if Shannon Bloom has skied off of course or not. It looks like from the top now comes Danielle Shannon. And Shannon Bloom has skied off course. A tough break for UMass Amherst. Shannon Bloom. She must have missed a gate at the top, and we missed that from our vantage point here in the broadcast center. So Shannon Bloom is out. Alexandra Gurris from Rocky Mountain still atop the leaderboard. But Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer qualified 3rd after the first round. She's in the lead after the first split. She's still in the lead after the second split. Danielle Shannon could take over the lead here. Here she comes into the lower third. Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer College. Danielle Shannon looking for a national championship here from Sun Valley, Idaho, into the last 3 gates. Here comes Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer College. Across the stripe comes Shannon, and she takes the lead. Danielle Shannon now in first place from Colby Sawyer College. A combined time of 2:21.17. She's in the lead. 2 racers to go. Tessa Herman from Sierra Nevada College, now on course. But Danielle Shannon with an incredible run from Colby Sawyer. A 1:11.09. It's the fastest run of the second run here from the Greyhawk Trail. Danielle Shannon in the lead. Alexandra Gurris in second. Amy Harris in third. Maddie Firk in fourth. And Marley Pollock rounding out your top 5. But here comes Tessa Herman from Sierra Nevada College. She leads at the first split. She was second after the first round. Can she win a national championship? Here comes Tessa Herman. Now into the lower third comes Tessa Herman. She struggled a little bit. Can she pick the speed back up? She'll need to make up time here in the lower section of this course. Here comes Tessa Herman. Tessa Herman with a rough intermediate split. I don't know if she'll have enough, Chris Aliano, and it doesn't look like she will as she is standing up now and skiing across the finish. So Tessa Herman across the finish line, but she will not make a podium. It puts her in 13th position. 1 skier to go. The number 1 qualifier, Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University. Will she have enough to take over Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer? She's on course. A slow start out of the gate. 18.41, the intermediate split. It's good enough for 5th. She'll have to make up time. Will Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer be able to hang on? Or will Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University win a national championship here in Sun Valley, Idaho? She's through the halfway mark. Here she comes. Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University. Skiing like a tremendous machine. Here she comes. Martina Ryberg. Now moved up to second place in the intermediate split, number 2. Can she make up time? Danielle Shannon in the lead. Will Martina Ryberg, the number 1 qualifier in the first run. 4 gates to go for Ryberg. Here she comes. She makes the tuck. Across the stripe comes Martina Ryberg. Will it be enough? Martina Ryberg will look on the timing, and she's won it. Martina Ryberg has won your national championship. Plymouth State University's Martina Ryberg with an impressive bottom section here on the Greyhawk Trail. A 1:10.43, the fastest second run of the day, the fastest first run of the day, a combined time of 2:20.17. That makes Plymouth State's Martina Ryberg your 2011 USCSA National Women's Giant Slalom Champion. Congratulations to Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University. Now let's go over your top 5. Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State atop the podium. She's followed by Colby Sawyer College's Danielle Shannon. Rocky Mountain College's Alexandra Gurris in 3rd spot. Amy Harris from the University of Nevada in the 4th slot. Rounding out the top 5, Maddie Firk from Sierra Nevada College. In 6th place, Marley Pollock from Plymouth State. Brown University's Krista Consiglio in 7th. Kirsten Evers from NC State in 8th. Emma Peck-Coffin in the 9th slot from Smith. And rounding out your top 10 from Rocky Mountain College, Mimi Palavara. But the day belongs to Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University. Looks like she will win a national championship here from the 2011 USCSA Women's Giant Slalom here in the beautiful Warm Springs area of Sun Valley, Idaho. Exciting action, Chris Aliano.
Exciting indeed, boss. What a finish. I really thought Danielle Shannon might have had her a slow start for Martina Ryberg, but she comes through in the end. Finishes a full second ahead of Danielle Shannon, and what a rivalry that has become. And it's still not over yet. We still have tremendous skiing here to come, and of course, things still will be decided in the team standing, where Sierra Nevada led after that first run. But again, congratulations, Martina. What a great job by all those ski races to come down so far, and about 50 more still to come.
Now let's go over some of the additional skiers that are coming down. We want to give them the credit that they have certainly earned and deserve here at this National Championship Giant Slalom for the ladies. Lehigh University's Carolina Matson now down. Erica Riley from Boston College. She has also crossed the stripe. Nope, check that. She is a DNF, so tough luck for Erica Riley. But a big day here for Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University, winning a national championship. Unofficial results will make them official after all of the competitors come down. I mean, it is conceivable, Chris Aliano, that someone who did not make the top 30 flip could somehow just have some extraordinary run.
That, or sometimes maybe a top caliber skier had a rough first run. All of a sudden you see them come out of the back of the pack with a top 30 run as well. So again, a lot of things still to be decided. Looks like we have a hold on the course, a group of slippers going down that tactical portion, that middle portion of the course. Wonder how it's still holding up, and hats off again to the ladies that have gone down already through the snow, mastering the flat light. It's just a very difficult course to start and very difficult conditions to deal with while you're on it.
We're back to live ladies action now from the College of Idaho. Gabrielle Gould on course. She was 33rd after the first run, but now 25th after the first intermediate split, so she is moving up as well. Gabby Gould from the College of Idaho on course. Still to come, we'll see Leanne Connors from Plymouth State University, Jill Clevenger from Clarkson, Michelle Spear from Colby Sawyer College, Allison Hubbard from UMass Amherst, and Emma Abramson from Sierra Nevada. But on course now, Gabby Gould from the College of Idaho, Leanne Connors from Plymouth State University. Now she's dropped in from the start shack. But a big day here for Plymouth State is Martina Ryberg. Number one after the first run, number one in the second run. And it's easy to win when you win both of the runs. Martina Ryberg over Danielle Shannon, finishing second from Colby Sawyer College. And Alexandra Gurris making the podium from Rocky Mountain College in third. Gabby Gould now across the stripe from the College of Idaho. 26th in the second run and a combined time of 2:36.61. Leanne Connors now from Plymouth State University on course. She was 21st after the first split, but moved up to 14th after the second split. So as you can see, Chris Aliano, anything can happen. These girls can make top 10 finishes even though they may have been outside the top 30 after the first run.
Very true, boss. Anything could happen in this wild and crazy sport I like to call ski racing.
And here comes Leanne Connors from Plymouth State University. Across the stripe is Connors, and that'll be good enough for 2:32.87, 13th in the second run. We're having a tough time seeing what the combined scores are. There we go. Good enough for 22nd place for Leanne Connors from Plymouth State. Now on course from Clarkson University is Jill Clevenger. Jill Clevenger qualified 35th after the first run. She's 27th after the first split, 28th after the second split. She's from Clarkson, Jill Clevenger. And now on course from Colby Sawyer College, Michelle Spear. So here are your top 10 as it looks right now. Winning a national championship from Plymouth State, Martina Ryberg. Colby Sawyer's Danielle Shannon in second. Alexandra Gurris from Rocky Mountain College in third. As Jill Clevenger from Clarkson now crosses the stripe, 27th in the second run. And 28th overall for Jill Clevenger. Now on course, Michelle Spear from Colby Sawyer College. She was 36th after the first, 27th in the first intermediate split. Ryberg, Shannon, and Gurris on your podium. In fourth place from the University of Nevada, Amy Harris. Maddie Ferk from Sierra Nevada College in fifth. Marley Pollock from Plymouth State in sixth. Krista Consiglio from Brown University in seventh. North Carolina State's Kirsten Evers in eighth. Emma Peck Coffin from Smith College in ninth. And rounding out your top 10 from Rocky Mountain College, it's Mimi Palavara. Michelle Spear from Colby Sawyer now on course. Just dropping in from the top from the start shack from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, it's Allison Hubbard. And across the stripe comes Michelle Spear from Colby Sawyer. And that'll be good enough for 32nd place for Michelle Spear. Allison Hubbard from UMass Amherst now on course. Emma Abramson from Sierra Nevada College also on course. Here comes Allison Hubbard from UMass Amherst into the lower third. 5 gates to go for Allison Hubbard from UMass. Here comes Hubbard, 3 gates to go. She'll make her tuck. And across the stripe comes Allison Hubbard from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. 28th in her second run, a combined score of 236.55. Now from Sierra Nevada College, it's Emma Abramson. Emma Abramson was 38th after the first run. She's moved up to 31st here in the first split, to 30th in the second split. And now into the lower third comes Emma Abramson. Jazz Campbell from Whitman College coming up next. Now Jazz Campbell from Whitman on course. Meanwhile, Emma Abramson with 8 gates to go. Here she comes. Into the final section is Emma Abramson from Sierra Nevada College, and across the stripe comes Abramson. Now Jazz Campbell from Whitman College. Abramson 28th on the second run with a combined time of 236.62. That'll be good enough for 31st place. Jazz Campbell from Whitman College. She's on course. St. Olaf's Madison McLaughlin. Madison McLaughlin on course for St. Olaf. Whitman College's Jazz Campbell now into the lower third. 10 gates to go for Jazz Campbell. Skiing out of the top section into the technical middle comes Madison McLaughlin. And here comes Jazz Campbell. 2 gates to go for Campbell. Now Jazz Campbell across the stripe. And Jazz Campbell, 28th, fastest in the second run. Combined time of 236.58. And that is good enough for 30th position for Jazz Campbell. Now Madison McLaughlin from St. Olaf, 29th after the first split. 33rd after the second split. Whitman College's Lexi Dreschel now on course, dropping in from the top. Still to come, Kirsten Anderson, Keena Cagnes, Catherine Goller, Sierra Olson, Kelsey Nilsson, Katie Kernan, Megan Gleason, Laura Tashler, Julia Whiten, Wendy Kalkas. But it's Madison McLaughlin now from St. Olaf. Across the stripe comes McLaughlin with a 117.92, 32nd fastest on the second run, and 33rd fastest overall for Madison McLaughlin from St. Olaf. Now it's Lexi Drexel on course from Whitman College. Kirsten Anderson from Syracuse University has now dropped in from the start shack. She is on course. We'll see Keena Cagnes coming up. Catherine Goller, Sierra Olson. But now it's Lexi Drexel. Lexi Drexel from Whitman College. She was 41st after the first run. She's moved as fast as 34th now after the second split. And across the split is the finish line is Lexi Drexel. The combined time of 238.91. We're using our backup timing system, ladies and gentlemen, so we have a little delay in what we're being able to see here. Our primary timing system has failed us, so we are on the backup system. But we are trying our best to get you the information we can as quickly as we can. Lexi Drexel across the finish line, 238.91, and that is good enough for 34th place for Lexi Drexel from Whitman College. On course, Kirsten Anderson from Syracuse University. She was 42nd after the first run, 36th after the first split, 34th after the second split, and now into the final 4 gates comes Kirsten Anderson from Syracuse University. She tucks, and across the stripe comes Kirsten Anderson. Let's see how the timing system will hold up for Kirsten Anderson. 32nd fastest in the second run. A combined time of 237.96. Good enough for 33rd position for Kirsten Anderson from Syracuse University. Now on course, Keena Cagnes from James Madison University, 43rd after the first run. Also on course, Catherine Goller from Plymouth State University. Now we're watching Keena Cagnes from James Madison University. making her way into the lower third. Meanwhile, atop this course, Plymouth State's Catherine Goller. In the start track, waiting to start from Northern Michigan University, Sierra Olson. We'll also see Kelsey Nilsson from the University of British Columbia. But now across the stripe comes Keena Cagnes from James Madison University. And she'll finish 38th fastest on the second run with a combined time of 2:48.40, good enough for 39th place here overall. Catherine Goller, Plymouth State's on course now into the bottom third. Here comes Catherine Goller. Meanwhile, Sierra Olson from Northern Michigan University. She has left the start shack, 45th after the first run. Can she make up some time? Here comes Catherine Goller from Plymouth State. She qualified 44th, and across the stripe comes Catherine Goller from Plymouth State. 29th fastest in the second run with a combined time of 2:38.13 for Catherine Goller. And that's good enough for 35th position for Catherine Goller. Now on course, Sierra Olson from Northern Michigan University, and just dropping in from the start shack from the University of British Columbia, here comes Kelsey Nilsson. Sierra Olson now on course into the bottom third, 8 gates to go for Olson. Kelsey Nilsson from the University of British Columbia at the top of the course. 2 gates to go for Olson. And across the stripe comes Sierra Olson. The time of 1:20.32 in her second run. 37th fastest and a combined of 2:41.63. Kelsey Nilsson from the University of British Columbia now on course. 40th after the first intermediate split, 38th after the second. Here comes Kelsey Nilsson from British Columbia. She was 46th after the first run. And now on course from the College of Idaho, it's Katie Kernan. So Nilsson and Kernan on course. Here comes Nilsson into the final 3 gates. Nilsson in her tuck, and across the finish line comes Kelsey Nilsson from the University of British Columbia. 37th fastest in the second run. 2:41.97 is the combined time. That's good enough for 39th slot so far. On course now, Katie Kernan from the College of Idaho and Megan Cleason from Clarkson University. Now with 5 gates to go, here comes Katie Kernan from College of Idaho. Clarkson University's Megan Cleason. And across the stripe is Katie Kernan from College of Idaho. We wait the 5 delayed seconds before we can get the final results for you. And across the stripe at 1:21.01 is Katie Kernan from the College of Idaho. Good enough for 39th on the second run. 2:43.82 for the combined time. Good enough for 40th position. Megan Cleason on course from Clarkson University. And now dropping in from the top start shack from St. Olaf is Lori Tashler. Now moving into the final 4 gates. It's Megan Cleason from Clarkson. Lori Tashler from St. Olaf at the top, and across the stripe comes Megan Cleason. Cleason, 41st fastest on the second round. Let's see what the final is here. 43rd is her final position from Clarkson University, Megan Cleason. Now Lori Tashler from St. Olaf, making her way into the bottom third of this Greyhawk run. It is the second run of the 2011 Women's Giant Slalom Competition. Live here from Sun Valley, Idaho. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. As Lori Tashler from St. Olaf now into the final 7 gates. Here comes Lori Tashler. Across the stripe is Tashler from St. Olaf. 40th fastest on the second run, a combined of 2:45.14. Meanwhile, Julia White from Syracuse University, she is now on course. Julia White now from Syracuse University. Making her way into the bottom third here. About 10 gates to go for Julia White from Syracuse. And Julia White into the final gate, and across the finish line comes Julia White from Syracuse. Her time in the second run, good enough for 36th fastest in run number 2. That'll put Julia White in the 40th slot from Syracuse. Now on course from Stanford University, Wendy Kalkas. Meanwhile, let's run down your top 5 here. The 2011 USCSA Women's Giant Slalom National Champion, Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University. In second place from Colby Sawyer, Danielle Shannon. Rocky Mountain College's Alexandra Gurus in third place. In the fourth slot, Amy Harris from the University of Nevada. Maddie Firk in fifth from Sierra Nevada College. In the sixth position from Plymouth State, Marley Pollock. Krista Consiglio from Brown University in seventh. Eighth spot belongs to North Carolina State's Kirsten Evers. Emma Peck Coffin in the ninth slot from Smith College. And rounding out your top 10 from Rocky Mountain College, it's Mimi Palavara. Wendy Kalkas from Stanford now on course, and dropping in from the start shack from Clarkson University, it's Emily Garand. So fast and furious action here, ladies and gentlemen, as the sun now peeps out. First time we've seen that in a while here, as we have had ever-changing conditions here in Sun Valley. Now the sun shining brightly upon this run, and it is snowing at the top of the run, and it is beautifully sunny here at the bottom of the run.
A little bit of everything, boss.
Meanwhile, Wendy Kalkas from Stanford into the final gates, and she crosses the finish line. Here comes Wendy Kalkas. Now Kalkas across the stripe with a time of 1:27.22, good enough for 45th fastest on the second run. And that'll put Kalkas in the 47th slot overall. Emily Grant from Clarkson University. She qualified 52nd fastest, but was 30th after the first split, 34th after the second split. Let's see if she can keep it going. Emily Garand from Clarkson. Also, Penn State University's Rebecca Wong now on course. Ryberg, Shannon, Gurus, Harris, Firk, your top 5. Pollock, Consiglio, Evers, Coffin, and Palavara, 6 through 10. Let's go over the 11th through 20th spot. Katie Olstead from St. Olaf in 11th. 12th place belongs to Brown's Kia Mosenthal. Great improvement for Mosenthal after the first run. In 13th position, Isa Floden from Rocky Mountain College. In 14th slot, Sierra Nevada's Stein Lund. Check that. That's Tessa Herman in 14th position. Tessa had a great first run and then had problems in the second run, moving her all the way down to the 14th position. And in 15th, Stein Lund from Sierra Nevada College. Emily Garand from Clarkson University crosses the stripe in 1:17.95. Now on course, Rebecca Wong from Penn State University. And dropping in from the top, Katie Todaro from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. Now here comes Rebecca Wong. Wong with 3 gates to go. And she gets in her tuck, crosses the stripe, and a successful second run for Rebecca Wong in a time of 1:39.11. Now Katie Todaro from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. She's made her way through the top section and into the technical middle part. Extremely technical in the middle section of this course. And here comes Katie Todaro from UMass Amherst. Now dropping in into the start shack is Rocky Mountain College's Mandy Laux. Mandy Laux now from Rocky Mountain College. She's on course. Meanwhile, Katie Todaro from UMass Amherst with 5 gates to go. Here comes Katie Todaro. Mandy Laux on course from Rocky Mountain College, and across the stripe here is Katie Todaro from UMass Amherst with a time of 1:22.76, good enough for 44th fastest in the second run. Combined time of 2:47.50 for Todaro. That's good enough for 47th overall. Mandy Laux now from Rocky Mountain College, making her way through the center section into the lower third. Meanwhile, Nicole Saltzman from Syracuse University's dropped in from the start shack. Extremely steep in the first 8 or 10 gates of this Greyhawk run here at Sun Valley. 5 gates to go for Mandy Laux from Rocky Mountain College. She is skiing quickly here, trying to make up time in the bottom section. The final gate, and across the stripe comes Mandy Laux from Rocky Mountain College with a time of 1:21.30, 42nd fastest for the second run. And Mandy Laux, that'll move her to the 47th slot overall here for the 2011 Women's GS Championship. Boss Hogg alongside Chris Aliano, bringing you all the coverage from the USCSA Radio Network broadcast booth here at the bottom of the Greyhawk Trail. 40 gates and 1,300 vertical feet facing these ladies today. But the day belongs to Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University, winning her first national championship here with an impressive first and second run. She led start to finish, Chris. It was no doubt that Martina Ryberg had it dialed in today.
She did. She started a little slow, but then she picked it right back up. Finished a full second ahead of Danielle Shannon. Danielle Shannon of Colby Sawyer finishing in second place, and she had quite a run herself. And for the second year in a row, your Giant Slalom National Champion comes out of the Eastern region. Castleton's Kristen Leggett last year, and it would have either been Colby Sawyer's Danielle Shannon or Plymouth State's Martina Ryberg this year. And of course, it was Ryberg, and you see again, although sometimes Eastern skiing gets a bad rap just because the conditions out there, sometimes the best skiers come out of the East because they deal with those conditions, and then they come out here where, hey, if they're used to the East, they certainly can master the West.
Nicole Saltzman from Syracuse across the stripe. And now across the stripe from the University of Nevada, Nicole Polshuk with an incredible second run for Polshuk. 1:15.68 for Nicole Polshuk from the University of Nevada. Good enough for 23rd fastest, even though she started in the, it had to have been the 60th of 57th slot. So great run for Nicole Polshuk from University of Nevada, 23rd fastest in the second run. Let's take a look at what that does for her overall. Puts her in 37th position, so a nice move up for Nicole Polshuk. Meanwhile, Liza Dingle from Cornell University. Her father, the inventor of the Dingle Cam. Liza Dingle skiing out of Carabasset Valley, Maine, but now at Cornell. Her first intermediate split of 20.55, good enough for 42nd spots. Here in the second split, 46th fastest. Can she make up time at the bottom? Here's Liza Dingle. Across the stripe comes Dingle. And 122.20, 46th fastest here in the second run. A combined time of 247.54 for Liza Dingle. And that is good enough for 51st position for Liza Dingle from Cornell University. I'd like to make a special shout out to Mr. Jeff Dingle, the Dingle Cam himself, listening on our live worldwide web coverage at uscsa.com. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to tune into all of the live action all week long, as we will bring you the men's giant slalom tomorrow, the women's slalom on Friday, and the men's giant slalom, along with special snowboard bonus coverage on Saturday. It's all part of our exciting 2011 USCSA National Championship broadcast schedule here on the USCSA Radio Network. Haley Olkin from the University of California at Santa Barbara now across the stripe. 51st fastest on the second run. Kelsey Foch now from the University of Minnesota in Duluth. She is on course. And let's take a look for Kelsey Foch. I do not see action. It looks like Foch might have missed a gate up high on the hill here. And it appears that Kelsey Foch is going to be a DNF here, as we do not see her skiing. In fact, she is a DNF. So a tough break for Kelsey Foch from the University of Minnesota in Duluth. Now on course, Alexandra Cleve from Penn State University, 61st fastest after the first run. And she successfully navigates through the first 10 gates, 12 gates, certainly the steepest and fastest part of this 1,300 vertical foot Greyhawk run. We said this earlier in the broadcast, Chris Aliano, but a 1,300 vertical drop is like setting a track off of the top of the Empire State Building and skiing down to the bottom as fast as you can in all of about a minute and 10 seconds.
More or less, boss, and that certainly is intimidating to say the least.
Well, it just gives folks kind of an idea as to what we're looking here. And certainly from the base of this mountain is one of the steepest GS runs I've ever seen in ladies competition. It is absolutely a world-class setup right here, and Sun Valley has a lot to be proud of as this Greyhawk course has provided every bit of thrill and excitement that one could expect in a ladies' national final. Alexandra Cleve from Penn State University on course. And now dropping in from the top from the University of British Columbia, it's Ellen Legro. Now across the stripe, Alexandra Cleve from Penn State. 52nd fastest on her second run. That'll put her 55th overall. Meanwhile, Ellen Legro from the University of British Columbia now on course. And Melissa Curley from UMass Amherst. She is now on course, dropping in. Maura Pickett from the College of Idaho awaits her second run here in this ladies' GS National Championship. Ellen Legro from the University of British Columbia into the final gate, and across the stripe comes Legro. And Legro, 55th overall with a combined time of 2:52.55. UMass Amherst Melissa Curley on course. Now dropping in from the College of Idaho, Maura Pickett. And Hillary Deagle from Penn State University. She's waiting to come down for her second run. Into the bottom third comes Melissa Curley from UMass Amherst. Maura Pickett from the College of Idaho now entering the technical center part of the Greyhawk Trail. 4 gates to go for Melissa Curley. UMass Amherst, Melissa Curley. She tucks in across the stripe she comes. Melissa Curley, 46 fastest on the second run. That'll place her 53rd overall. And the College of Idaho's Maura Pickett now. Into the lower third comes Maura Pickett. Martina Ryberg, your champion today from Plymouth State University, with an impressive lead in the first run, a lead in the second run, and almost a second victory in the combined time over second-place finisher Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer College. Alexandra Gurris from Rocky Mountain College. She'll join the podium in third. While the University of Nevada's Amy Harris in fourth, and Matea Furk in fifth position from Sierra Nevada College. Now into the last 6 gates comes Maura Pickett from College of Idaho. Now Pickett with 3 gates to go. Here she goes into her final tuck, and across the stripe comes Maura Pickett. Good enough for 57th overall. Hillary Deagle from Penn State University now making her way past the halfway part into the lower third. Kayla Weiserek from University of Minnesota Duluth. Kayla Weiserek now on course. Hillary Deagle from Penn State University into the lower third. Kelly Bracken from Syracuse University waiting to drop in from the start shack. Ryberg, Shannon, Gurris, Harris, and Furk, your top 5. In 6th place from Plymouth State, Marley Pollock. Browns, Krista Consiglio in 7th. Kirsten Evers from the Dirty South, NC State, in 8th place. Smith College's Emma Peck Coffin in 9th, and rounding out your top 10 from Rocky Mountain College, it's Mimi Palavara. Meanwhile, Hillary Deagle across the stripe from Penn State University. Now Kayla Weiserek from University of Minnesota Duluth. Kelly Bracken waiting to drop in from the starting gate. You know, Chris Aliano, ski racing, certainly a family affair, often beginning early, and for young kids, as they begin as J5s, move into the J4, J3 programs. They go through high school, J2, J1. The next thing they know, they're in college skiing. and many times this is the end of the road for competitive skiing for these competitors. But it's not just the end of the road for the ski racers themselves, because it really does take a village in competitive ski racing. You see so many moms and dads and grandparents, aunts and uncles out there, everybody kind of doing their part to make ski racing a reality for these kids. And the great part about these national championships is we see a lot of these families that come out for this event. We know a lot of them are listening here today on the USCSA Radio Broadcast Network, and we just want to congratulate all of you. We know how much of an effort it takes from everyone involved in ski racing to give a youngster an opportunity to succeed in this sport. So hats off to you. Congratulations to all of the families, all of the friends, and all of the villages that come together to make it possible for these fortunate ski racers here today.
It's the full culmination of, as you said, all those years, pre-high school, juniors, all the way through high school, and then into the collegiate level here today, NCAA or USCSA. It's just such a demanding sport. You know, the equipment's always so expensive. Mom and pop always having to, hunker over a large chunk of dough all throughout these young men and women's career. And here it is today, the culmination of all those years, all those patience, all that training, all that equipment. And, well, just happy to see them, especially if they're a senior at the end of the road, at the end of their career. Where else would you rather be than here at the base of this Greyhawk Trail?
Hillary Deagle from Penn State University crosses the stripe. Now Kelly Bracken from Syracuse University. She is into the final third. 4 gates to go for Kelly Bracken. Kaylin Ford from James Madison University on course. But now it is Kelly Bracken, and across the stripe from Syracuse University is Kelly Bracken. Good enough for 61st position. Now Kaylin Ford from James Madison University crossing the halfway stripe. She's into the lower third now. Coming up next, we'll see Megan McLeod, and now Megan McLeod from the University of British Columbia. Qualified 69th after the first run. Now she is in and on the course, coming through the halfway spot. Unfortunately, it looks like that Kaylin Ford has skied out of the course. So James Madison University's Kaylin Ford unable to complete her second run. She will be a DNF, a tough break for Kaylin Ford. Megan McLeod from the University of British Columbia, wearing bib number 93. She is currently on course and crossing the finish line. Well, a little bit of confusion there. Let's back up here. Kaylin Ford from James Madison University has posted a time. Did she ski out and then ski back across the finish line? We'll have to check that. It looks like it's legit, though. So James Madison University's Kaylin Ford. Have to check that for me. She has finished the race. Indeed, she has. 61st position for Kaylin Ford. Megan McLeod from the University of British Columbia. Now comes into the lower third. 8 gates to go for Megan McLeod. So our last 3 competitors, Hillary Deagle, Kelly Bracken, and Kaylin Ford, all across the stripe safely. And now finishing, it's Megan McLeod from the University of British Columbia. 58th fastest on the second run, 61st overall for Megan McLeod. Carolyn Honer now on course from James Madison University, and Cornell's Rebecca Smith also on course. Cornell's Ashby Suffman waiting to come down from the start shack. 87 ladies will complete the second run after 110 ladies actually attempted the first run. A huge field of women here at the 2011 USCSA National Championships. Carolyn Honer from James Madison University makes her way into the final section here of the Greyhawk Trail, the beautiful Warm Springs base area of Sun Valley, Idaho. Our first USCSA National Championship here at Sun Valley. We're glad to be here. As Carolyn Honer from James Madison University crosses the stripe. Good enough for 63rd fastest on the second run and 65th overall. Rebecca Smith from Cornell on course. Ashby Suffman from Cornell on course. And their teammate Jessie Evans from Cornell in the start shack, waiting to begin her second run of this 2011 Women's Giant Slalom. Now 5 gates to go for Rebecca Smith from Cornell. Ashby Suffman behind her, coming into the middle section of the course. But now across the finish line comes Rebecca Smith from Cornell. And across the stripe in a good time, 123.64. Good enough for 51st fastest on the second run and 59th overall for Rebecca Smith. So a good run for Smith. Meanwhile, Ashby Suffman from Cornell Qualified 72nd after the first round. She makes it through the center section into the lower third. Comes Ashby Suffman. Jesse Evans, their teammate from Cornell, now in the start gate, ready to drop in. The day belongs, though, to Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State University, winning her first national championship here in the ladies' giant slalom. Don't forget the award ceremony for the giant slalom for the ladies tonight at 3:30 this afternoon over at the Sun Valley Lodge. If you're anywhere near Sun Valley, we welcome you to come over to a beautiful award ceremony. You'll enjoy it immensely. And now across the finish line, Cornell's Ashby Suffman, 1:25.55 on her second run. It's good enough for 62nd overall. Cornell's Jesse Evans now entering the midsection of the course. Katrina Kissel from Penn State University. She is in the box ready to come down. Cornell University's Jesse Evans now making her way through the center section into the lower third. Here are your top five. Martina Ryberg winning today. Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer in second. Alexandra Guras from Rocky Mountain College in third. Fourth spot belongs to Amy Harris from University of Nevada. And rounding out the top five, Maddie Firk from Sierra Nevada College. So Jesse Evans on course from Cornell makes her way into the final five gates. Katrina Kissel from Penn State University on course. And from Northern Michigan University, Ellen Holmes waiting her second run. But across the stripe comes Jesse Evans from Cornell. A great time of 1:23.67. 52nd fastest here on the second run. That puts Evans in 60th spot overall. Penn State University's Katarina Kissel now on course, as is Northern Michigan University's Ellen Holmes. And Syracuse University's Alexandra Fischera. She is in the start shack awaiting her second run. Meanwhile, through the center section into the lower third comes Katarina Kissel from Penn State University. And with 4 gates to go, it's Katarina Kissel from Penn State. She tucks. And across the finish line, it's Katarina Kissel from Penn State University. Ellen Holmes from Northern Michigan University. Now she's through the center section and into the lower third. She's followed by Syracuse's Alexandra Fischera. And now waiting in the start shack to drop in for her second run, Lehigh University's Julia Piper. Ellen Holmes now in the lower third from Northern Michigan University. And here comes Ellen Holmes from Northern Michigan University. You know, Chris, when you see skiers from Michigan and you know the topography of Michigan, you can only imagine how amazing this must be to see a mountain that's got 4,000 vertical feet. It's really vertical here. Certainly some of these steeps and some of these pitches are sometimes have never been skied by the skiers in the Midwest. They just don't have the kind of landscape that they need to duplicate this. And how exciting must it be for these skiers?
Certainly, boss, especially skiers from all over the Midwest. And I think we mentioned a skier from Rhode Island earlier today. Imagine being from Rhode Island, not much to ski around if you're from the Ocean State. And it's just, I mean, even coming from the east to the west, it's always a bit of an eye-opener, and you lose your breath at first when you see some of these mountains, some in Utah, Park City. There was ski jumping last weekend, the first official events of these national championships, and that was just truly spectacular to watch, and it's always a real treat coming out. If you've lived in the east your whole life or in the Midwest and you come out west for the first time, you always lose your breath.
Alexandra Fischera from Syracuse University crossing the stripe. She has completed both of her runs, as has Ellen Holmes from Northern Michigan University. Lehigh University's Julia Piper on course now. Qualified 77th after the first run, and now dropping in from the University of Minnesota in Duluth, Chelsea Williams. Northern Michigan University's Nikki Kumaro. She awaits her second run from the start shack. She's wearing bib number 79. As we're getting down to the final racers here for the second run. And into the last 6 gates comes Julia Piper from Lehigh University. Piper into the final gate, and she's in her tuck, and across the stripe comes Julia Piper from Lehigh University. Chelsea Williams from the University of Minnesota in Duluth, now into the center section. And awaiting to drop from the start shack, and has done so from Northern Michigan University, Nikki Kumaro. So Chelsea Williams from the University of Minnesota Duluth and Nikki Kumaro from Northern Michigan University, both on course. Katie Cutting from Boston College coming up next from the start shack. Ryberg, Shannon, Gurris, Harris, Firk, Pollock, Consiglio, Evers, Coffin, and Palavara. That's your top 10 here from an incredible afternoon of women's giant slalom ski racing from the beautiful Sun Valley Resort in central Idaho. Boss Hogg and Chris Aliano bringing you the call today from the USCSA broadcast booth. Hope you're enjoying our live coverage on the World Wide Web. Tune in all week long as we'll bring it to you again tomorrow morning at 9:15 a.m. on the USCSA Radio Broadcast Network. Chelsea Williams from the University of Minnesota Duluth across the finish line. Nikki Kumaro from Northern Michigan University. She makes her way through the center section into the lower third. Meanwhile, Katie Cutting from British Columbia, Boston College. She is now on course, has successfully navigated that top steep section of 10 or 12 gates, and it swings hard to the left and then swings back hard to the right in the last 5 gates. An amazing course set here in Sun Valley. Truly an impressive venue and an impressive race course, and one of the most challenging GS tracks we have had an opportunity to watch these ladies race on this year. Now coming across the stripe, it is Nikki Kumaro from Northern Michigan University. Boston College's Katie Cutting now through the center section into the lower third. Meanwhile, Lehigh's Casey Noble, she'll drop in and has successfully navigated the top 8 gates in the steep section of this course on Greyhawk. Colleen Duffy from Cornell University. She awaits her second run from the start shack. And with 2 gates to go, here across the finish line comes Katie Cutting from Boston College. And a great run for Katie Cutting. Katie Cutting qualified 80th after the first run. She had the 46th fastest second run at 1:21.79 and finished a total overall of 66th position. So a good move up for Katie Cutting from Boston College. Casey Noble now from Lehigh University coming through the center section into the lower third. Meanwhile, now out of the top and into the middle section from Cornell is Colleen Duffy. And Penn State University's Megan Davis awaits her second run from the start shack. Martina Ryberg, that's the name of the day. Plymouth State University's very own, winning her first national championship here. Danielle Shannon with a great effort from Colby Sawyer College. She'll finish second. And making the podium from Rocky Mountain College, Alexandra Gurris. Now crossing the finish line from Lehigh University, it's Casey Noble. And a good run for Casey Noble. Cornell's Colleen Duffy. She makes her way out of the center section into the lower third as well. Now Megan Davis on course from Penn State University. And we await the arrival of Maddie McCartney from Stanford University as she gets ready for her second run from the top of the Greyhawk Trail. And here comes Colleen Duffy from Cornell. Duffy tucking for the last 2 gates, and across the finish line is Colleen Duffy from Cornell University. Megan Davis from Penn State University also on course. Now Maddie McCartney, she's dropped in from Stanford University, and we await Delia Ridgey from Lehigh University. Qualified 85th. Just a couple of racers left here in this second and final round of the ladies' 2011 Giant Slalom Championship. We'll see Catherine Roosh from the University of Minnesota Duluth and Elka Wood from St. Olaf. Those will be our final two competitors. Meanwhile, Megan Davis now coming into the last four gates for Davis. Megan Davis from Penn State University. She tucks the final gate, and across the stripe successfully is Megan Davis. Maddie McCartney from Stanford still on course, and now dropping in, it is Delia Rigi from Lehigh University. Catherine Roosh from the University of Minnesota in Duluth. She awaits at the top of this 1,300 vertical foot run, a huge giant slalom competition run here in Sun Valley. We can't say enough about it. It is truly an amazing facility here, and we can't wait to talk to some of the racers here after we get done with the broadcast to find out what they thought of this incredible 40-gate setup that has been a part of the 2011 Women's Giant Slalom here from the Warm Springs base area in beautiful Sun Valley. Megan Davis from Penn State University across the line. Maddie McCartney from Stanford with 4 gates to go. And Delia Rigi now into the center section. Here comes Stanford's Maddie McCartney. And across the line is Maddie McCartney. Maddie McCartney with a good second run time. Delia Rigi on course for Lehigh University and the University of Minnesota Duluth's Catherine Roosh now on course. Making her way up through that steep and technically difficult top section. Our last racer today, Elka Wood from St. Olaf College. She is in the start shack awaiting her final run. Catherine Roosh from the University of Minnesota Duluth. She's now entered the center section, and with 4 gates to go, it's Lehigh's Delia Rigi. Now with a gate to go, and across the stripe comes Delia Rigi from Lehigh University. Catherine Roosh now from the University of Minnesota at Duluth. She is through the center section and into the lower third. Meanwhile, we await St. Olaf's Elka Wood, the final racer of this ladies' second run. You know, the coaches at Colby Sawyer College always dress the best, too. There's no doubt about that as one just walked by. I'd like to have a shout-out to all of the lashers out there. I think there's like 12 of them or something. They're skiers and golfers. They're all kinds. But certainly everybody's mom up at Sugarloaf, Mrs. Lasher, the Mrs. Lasher. Hello to her if she's listening out there and all the folks in Carrabassett Valley. Boss Hogg alongside Chris Aliano as Catherine Roosh from the University of Minnesota Duluth crosses the finish line. Now Elka Wood is on course from St. Olaf. Looks like we have a replacement here, a seed replacement, Sarah Schaefer from Clarkson University, wearing bib 102. We'll check that out in just a second. Meanwhile, Catherine Roosh from University of Minnesota Duluth across the line. And Elka Wood from St. Olaf College. She is on course, making her way through the center section into the lower third. And here comes Elka Wood from St. Olaf. And she's skiing well here in the lower section of this course. So here comes Elka Wood from St. Olaf, a great cross-country and Nordic program over at St. Olaf. Also a good Alpine team as well. It's good to see them out here today. Elka Wood now across the stripe. And a great time for Elka Wood, 1:20.21. Although she qualified 87th after her first run, she made it all the way to 40th in the second run. So congratulations to Elka Wood. A good run for St. Olaf's Elka Wood. Now we're checking to see here if we have one more racer. On our printed sheet, we do not, although in the digital system here, it looks like they may be adding someone. I'm not sure. No, they are not going to add it, so that will do it. Elka Wood, our last racer here in the women's giant slalom. Let's go over the final results for you. Winning the 2011 USCSA Women's Giant Slalom National Championship is Martina Ryberg from Plymouth State. In second place, Danielle Shannon. Danielle Shannon from Colby Sawyer College. In third place, Alexandra Gurris from Rocky Mountain College. In the 4th slot from the University of Nevada, it's Amy Harris. And in 5th place from Sierra Nevada College, Maddie Firk. In 6th position, Plymouth State's Marley Pollock. In 7th, Brown University's Kirsten Evers. Check that. That's Krista Consiglio in the 7th slot from Brown University. In 8th position, Kirsten Evers from NC State. The 9th slot belongs to Emma Peck Coffin from Smith College. And rounding out your top 10 from Rocky Mountain College, it's Mimi Palavara. In the 11th position, Katie Olstead from St. Olaf. Kia Mosenthal taking 12th from Brown University. Rocky Mountain's Issa Floden in the 13th position. In 14th position, it's Tessa Herman from Sierra Nevada College. And in 15th, also from Sierra Nevada, Stein Lund. In the 16th spot, Allison Howe from the University of Washington. British Columbia's Alexandra Boyd in 17th position. In the 18th slot, Amy Gifford from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. In 19th position, Nina Herner from the College of Idaho. And tied for that 19th position with Nina Herner is the University of British Columbia's Amanda Driver. So there are your top 20 for this 2011 USCSA Women's National Championship. A great day of ski racing here from the Greyhawk Trail as the gates start to come down and they will get reset for tomorrow's big men's giant slalom action. Live coverage beginning here on the USCSA Radio Broadcast Network beginning at 9:15 a.m. local time. That's Mountain Time. And that's 11:15 a.m. in the East. We hope you'll join us here at www.uscsa.com for all of the action. 2 runs of exciting men's giant slalom tomorrow morning, as we will be joined by Chris Aliano once again. Chris, a great broadcast day, an exciting women's race. Always fun to be with you here at the Broadcast Center, and thanks for joining me. It's great to have you back again.
Thanks, boss. Always a mutual feeling, and always great to be back calling exciting ski racing with you. And once again, a tremendous day of ski racing. What a trail, what a day, what conditions, and congratulations again, Martina Ryberg. We'll be back tomorrow for the men.
Don't forget our broadcast today in the 2011 USCSA National Championships, live from Sun Valley, Idaho, are brought to you by Patagonia. Their mission, build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, and use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. Check them out at www.patagonia.com. And by Reliable Racing. Whether it's winter sports, hill and event supply, sports timing, golf course supplies, or field and recreation, Reliable Racing is your one-stop solution. Reliable Racing, proud supporter of the USCSA. And by Hurricane Racing, the official uniform supplier of the USCSA and your #1 source for custom team ski wear. Visit them today at www.hurricaneracing.com. And by Twitchell Sportswear. Whether it's T-shirts for the family reunion, merchandise for a major event, or polos for a corporate gathering, Twitchell Sportswear has you covered from design to delivery. Since 1992, it's Twitchell Sportswear, the leader in custom embroidery, screen printing, and graphic design. That's going to do us from the USCSA Broadcast Center here at the base of the Warm Springs area in beautiful Sun Valley, Idaho. On behalf of Chris Aliano and the whole USCSA broadcast team, this is Boss Hogg saying so long, everybody.